The neon city lights cast an electric glow on the rain-slick streets, reflecting off Neonbolt's jet-black boots as he patrolled the rooftops. Tonight, an unsettling stillness hung in the air, broken only by the rhythmic whoosh of his movements. A tip from a shadowy informant had led him here, whispers of a gathering orchestrated by the enigmatic villain known only as the Executioner. Neonbolt, the city's masked protector, was no stranger to danger. A blonde-haired hero in his early 20s, he was a beacon of hope against the shadows that threatened to consume the city. His slim but sculpted physique was clad in his signature suit of shimmering blue and black latex, and his powers crackled around him, a constant reminder of the electrical energy he could manipulate. But tonight, a prickling unease crawled up his spine. Reaching the designated rooftop, Neonbolt crouched behind a ventilation shaft. Below, a scene unfolded that sent a jolt of shock through him. A twisted parody of a carnival filled the central square. Garish lights cast an eerie glow on the throngs of people, their faces contorted in a mix of fear and fervor. In the heart of the spectacle stood a colossal metal structure, its ominous silhouette unmistakable, a guillotine. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall and cloaked, his voice booming through hidden speakers. It was the Executioner, his face obscured beneath a metallic mask. His words, laced with a dark charisma, twisted the minds of the crowd, turning their loyalty against the city's protectors. "The heroes are the virus," he thundered. "They claim to protect you, but they are the ones who bring chaos. Tonight, we show them the true meaning of justice." A collective roar erupted from the crowd, their eyes glazed over with a chilling obedience. Neonbolt knew he couldn't fight them all, their minds were no longer their own. He had to act fast, before the Executioner used them to carry out his twisted plan, which would surely involve someone innocent being killed. With a burst of speed, Neonbolt launched himself from the rooftop, a streak of blue light descending into the heart of the frenzied crowd. The moment he landed, chaos erupted. People surged towards him, their faces contorted in a grotesque mockery of their former gratitude. Neonbolt's electric energy crackled defensively, momentarily pushing them back. He scanned the square, searching for a way to disrupt the ceremony and break the Executioner's hold. Suddenly, a figure with a resolute expression cut through the crowd. Their eyes met Neonbolt's in a silent exchange, a flicker of defiance shared. This person, whoever they were, was unaffected by the Executioner's control. In that instant, the gravity of the situation pressed down on him. He wasn't just fighting for the city, but for everyone who called it home, including this unexpected ally who stood with him against the tide. A renewed surge of determination coursed through him. He had to find a way to reach the crowd, to remind them of who they were. Neonbolt fought his way towards a flickering loudspeaker, his movements a blur of blue and black. With a surge of electricity, he overloaded the system, his voice crackling through the speakers. "People of the city! Wake up," he roared. "This is not who you are. The Executioner is manipulating you." A flicker of recognition shone in some eyes. The crowd hesitated, the hypnotic hold of the villain momentarily weakened. But before Neonbolt could exploit the opening, the Executioner acted. With a cruel smile beneath his mask, he pointed towards the hero. "Silence him," he bellowed. The crowd surged forward once more, their minds enslaved by the villain's will. This time, the sheer number of them was overwhelming. Fists pounded against Neonbolt's chest, kicks landed with sickening thuds. The hero fought back, his electric power sparking uselessly against the sheer weight of the crowd. Amongst the tirade of punches, one met with Neonbolt's lip, busting it open. A further shower of punches succeeded in bringing him to his knees in a dizzied and bloodied state. As the city square swirled around him, the crowd dragged him towards the guillotine, the metallic frame looming ever larger. A frenzied woman surged forward, tearing Neonbolt's mask from his head in a bid for a chaotic trophy. Neonbolt fought with a desperate strength, digging his boots into the ground as the crowd dragged him toward the steps of the guillotine, but it was a losing battle. He stumbled, a blow connecting with his temple, sending stars flashing across his vision. By the time he refocused, he had been wrestled to his knees. He looked out at the crowd, searching for the stranger in whom he'd found an ally. He found them, but a cold dread filled him. The resolute, defiant look in their eyes had been replaced by a chilling smile, a dark satisfaction that mirrored the rest of the executioner's puppets. In that horrifying moment, Neonbolt knew he had failed. Panic tightened his throat, but he forced out a plea. "Everyone, listen. It's the executioner, he's messing with your heads." His voice shook, echoing in the sudden eerie silence. His flowing blonde hair now stuck to his bloodied and terrified face, and a single bead of sweat trickled down his temple. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. The executioner raised a hand. Then with a sickening metallic clang that echoed through the square, the guillotine's blade cut through Neonbolt's neck. The metallic clang hung heavy in the air. A tremor, almost imperceptible, ran through the crowd. A single person, someone close to the front, stumbled back, eyes wide with a dawning horror. A strangled cry escaped their lips. One by one, others began to stir. The glazed look in their eyes flickered, replaced by confusion and then a wave of sickening dread. The executioner's voice, once a siren song, now grated on their ears. As if sensing the shift, the executioner reached down and grasped Neonbolt's severed head. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd, a wave of realization crashing over them like a cold wave. With a fistful of blonde hair, the executioner held his prize aloft for all to see. Silence, thick and heavy, descended upon the square. In the flickering light, the crowd saw their young hero's limp, pale face staring back at them. At the executioner's feet, their would-be savior's headless, latex body jerked and twitched, emitting its last sparks of energy. A wave of nausea washed over the crowd, the weight of what they had just participated in crashing down on them. The hero they once cheered for, the protector of the city, was gone. The executioner had orchestrated a horrifying spectacle. He had not just killed a hero, he had twisted the minds of the city's people to become his executioners. He reveled in the crushing weight of guilt that hung heavy in the air. In that moment, the executioner had achieved a twisted victory. He had not just eliminated a foe, he had broken the city's spirit. He turned to look directly into Neonbolt's lifeless eyes, not to mention he'd earned himself a pretty prize.